Ooh-wee. All right, all right. I think we are good to go. What's going on, party people? There we go. Popping in here now. Oh, sorry about the small delay. Sorry about the small delay. All right. Ooh, man. All right, I made it. I made it. I made it. I made it. Man, I'm tired. Yeah, today was was a busy day. Today was busy. So how y'all doing? Before I get into all of that, make sure that like I always got to remember let people get into the room and all of that. Let the notification goes out before I just start running off at the mouth, and then people miss what I said. So as you come in, just say where you come, where you what state you're in. Um, I'm in Virginia, and get a good idea of where everybody's coming from. I think this would be a good one. I hope y'all had a chance to look at the video. Um, hey, what's going on, Cicero? I hope I'm saying that right. Um, Emogene. Yeah, Emogene. Yeah, I remember that name from back in the day, Emogene. Yeah. So we got Arkansas, two Arkansas. Okay. Um, but yeah, I hope everybody had a chance to look at Marcy and everything. Great video with her. Started all supposed to be up in Philly. Man, I'm not gonna be able to make it up there. I got some stuff I got to take care of down here, so I ain't gonna be able to make it. Dog, I already called them and let them know I got some family stuff I got to take care of down here. So I was supposed to be driving up tomorrow, um, but some stuff popped up, and you know, I gotta be here to take care of it. So nothing major, bad or anything, but just gotta take care of some family stuff that came up at the last minute and all of that. So I already called Judi and let them know I wasn't gonna be able to make it up there this weekend and stuff. So yeah, I had everything set up. Um, I'm serious. I had some stuff I was gonna give away. I ordered that on some books, and I ain't gonna be able to do jack. So I got to hang here with the family. We got to take care of some stuff. Not like I said, nothing bad, but okay. Hold on 1 second. Let's see what's going on with them real quick. Sorry about that. Notary look like a notary needs some help. Send them a quick text, see what's going on with them and stuff. Hopefully. All right. So hopefully they'll hit me back and let me know what's going on. But yeah, so Rip Linda from Derby, Kansas, South Carolina, Noble Virtual Notary Services finally made it. Yep. We got somebody. Oh, okay. That's your name. I can't even pronounce the name, so I ain't gonna try. Look, if you're new here, I am not the name pronouncer. Okay, I just am not. Um, what else? So let me do this here real quick because I wanted to play a little something for y'all. For those of you who have not looked at the video, let me do this here just to be on the safe side. Okay, so let me refresh this real quick. All right, so.
That's what I learned over the years.
Okay, so I just want to play y'all a clip from the video interview discussion that I did with Marcy a couple of days ago. I was trying to do it sooner, but just didn't get a chance to. So y'all, I got everything set up. So y'all listen to this. It's just gonna be a few minutes, and then we're gonna have a quick little discussion. But I want y'all to listen very carefully to this here. So all right. And let me know if you can't hear. But there's a lot of misunderstanding about the signing companies and what how they get their fees and what. I mean, I hear people say, well, they're getting paid all of this money and they're giving us a little bit of this. Now, one of the things that I've always said, and I heard the term when I was growing up, but never really looked into it, is the term lowball. Now, what I learned about lowball, when I looked at the definition, lowball means there's an agreed upon price and somebody is trying to get that price lower than expected. So the key word that I figured out was, remember, this is what we learned in English, is agreed upon. So now I had to refer back to what I've heard other people say. They said the fees range between 75 and 300. I was like, where's the agreed upon price? If there's no agreed upon price from professional notary services, Notary Go, coast to coast, first class, unlimited ink, if we haven't agreed that this will be the price, then how can I say they're lowballing me? Because in order for them to lowball me, that means they have to agree that this is the price. But you know what? We're going to go under that. And the example I always give is, we know Notary Go is typically $60.
Yeah.
If you know Notary Go is $60, the whole world knows Notary Go is $60. And then when you go to do an order from them, which is no different from what you did, and they start talking about 30, that's lowballing, because it's like, wait a minute, we know this is the normal fee that y'all pay. We've asked y'all to increase. Y'all said nope, it's it. So that's what it is. So I think the agreed upon pay thing, or this idea of what we should get paid, comes from other people, because when the signing company contacts us, what do they say? This is what we're paying. They didn't ask us what we want to get paid. They said, this is what we're paying. Either you accept it or you reject it. Now, if a person calls you and they say, hey, we have this order, we normally pay 95, well, they're telling you that's what they pay. They're not trying to lowball you. Now, of course, you may want 150, sure. And because they're offering you 95, you say, well, you're lowballing me. They don't know what you want. They don't know until they talk to you and they're telling you this is where we're at. Now, to my understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, Marcy, if a person contacts me, they don't tell me what their fee is, but they ask me what mine is, and I say, okay, my fee is 150. Now, to me, if they come back with, well, we're just gonna pay you 60. Because, okay, you asked me and I told you, but then you greatly dropped my fee. Now, to me, dropping it to 125, and to me, even 100, that ain't bad. It's not, because you might just be 17 pages for 100. Okay, cool. But this is what I'm seeing out here from the notaries. They're thinking that there's this agreed upon price. And I was asking myself today, well, where did they get that from? Either within their own mind, or they heard it on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, or from a notary training session that said notary should get paid this. And the old adage, and then I'll let you talk, is, well, you need to get paid your worth. And I'm like, I've heard from many, many signing company owners and schedulers. They're like, you haven't established your worth with me because you haven't even done anything. Why are you calling me at the end of the month when we got 300 closings this last week to do, talking about make me preferred? They told me, they said, we're trying to figure out why you aren't up there doing some signings if you're all that. The floor is yours, Ms. Marcy.
So let me start by saying I don't love the terminology lowball, because I just don't know what that entails for some people. And I think we are very quick to judge when a notary takes a signing for less than what we would take it for. And then we're quick to say, well, you're hurting the industry.
Right.
I actually don't think that that's true, right? I look at other things and I think to myself, well, as notaries, I see all the time where they're asking, hey, who has the cheapest insurance? Where can I buy the cheapest toner? Where can I get the cheapest paper, right?
Correct.
I'm not saying that that's true for services, but I'm assuming most of us do not run out and hire the first attorney or tax accountant, or, right? We shop for services, and maybe you don't get the lowest paying one, you get the highest paying one. Am I saying that that's good or bad? I'm saying that's how it works, right?
True.
I also think we're not cognizant of what someone else's expenses are. And I tell everyone this all the time. When I get a notary says to me, I won't leave the house for $100. Okay, but what is entailed in that $100, right? Is it a 150-page refinance signing 30 minutes from your house? Or is it a 20-page seller signing 4 houses down from you? Is that bottom line, right? That's the important number. So it's the same thing when people say, oh, you can make 6 figures. Okay, gross, but that means nothing to me, because how much am I bringing to that bottom line? That's the number for me that's important. So I think when we talk about these lowball fees, I kind of feel like there's a clientele for everyone, right? Some people shop at Walmart for t-shirts. Some are fine to go to Banana Republic or Abercrombie for t-shirts, right? They can pay $10 or they can pay $50, and there are people who will buy on either end. I feel like it's sort of the same way with services, right? Now, I can't attest to anyone else other than how I operate, but I can say my fee doesn't really change whether you're a brand new notary for me or you've been with me for 10 years. I get a fee, and for the most part, I take 25% off of that fee, unless I have to pay for FedEx labels to my customers, whatever. And 75% goes to my notary.
Right.
And that's what how my fee structure works out. And anyone who asks me, I think you can attest to that, I'll tell you how much I make. It's not a secret for me, right? I'm not going to hide behind that wall. I'm going to tell you. If I get paid $200, it's $50 to me. It's $150 to you. If you come back to me and say, hey, can I get more money for a larger package, or it took an extra half an hour, I'm going to probably tell you, I gave you all I had. The rest is what I have to be profitable. But on the flip side of that, should you get paid $95 from a signing company, and then you go back and ask them for more money and they give it to you, in your mind, you're probably thinking that's amazing. Like, they gave me more money. But in my mind, I'm thinking they already had that money to give to you, right? If they can afford to give you that extra money, then that's where we are. But ultimately, at the end of the day, it's the fee that you agreed upon. And if you're comfortable with that fee and you can be profitable, then I don't think it matters that someone else will say to you, well, I wouldn't do that for less than 150 or 200 and 250. If you can do it and still be profitable and be happy with the profit margin that you're making, then I think that that's important. I think the rest of it is sort of irrelevant. So I don't blame the current situation and what's going on for new notaries taking less money. I take it because I can tell you, as a signing company, lenders are cutting their fees to try to bring in more business, right? And that means all of these cuts have to come somewhere. So they're taking money from title companies. Hey, I need you to reduce your settlement fee. And the title company is saying to me, hey, can you reduce your notary fee? And I, fortunately for me, have only had to reduce one fee. And that's the only one, only because I'm paying a FedEx label only by $25. So it's not really a huge deal. But I have had to turn away customers and say, I can't take less, right? Like, I can't be profitable, and I can't pay my notaries. This isn't a signing company thing. And I know I've seen it in the threads, right? Where the signing companies are trying to cut our fees. It's coming from the top, you guys, right? Like, everyone's fighting for that little piece of business and to be competitive.
Right.
To be competitive is about closing costs. And like we just talked about, no one goes out and gets the first mortgage from the bank they go to, right? They shop fees. And that is why we're sort of in the place that we are today. So I know that's a little bit of a veer from what you asked me about.
Oh, well, no, dude. So in the chat, tell me what you think, please. I really want to know, because if you're listening to this carefully and you've been following me for a while, you know I was saying these same things. I've been saying this is where the issue is. A lot of people are in these Facebook groups, whether public or private, all on TikTok, some of these meetups, get-togethers, conferences, all of that, and they're making you think that there's this us against them thing, that people are out here trying to purposefully hurt you and stop you from making money. Now, later on in the interview, she talks about that. Yes, there probably are some signing companies, or maybe we talked about that offline, but there are some signing companies that might be getting $300 and only paying you 60. There are some that's I'm sure there's some that's out there that's like that. But the vast majority of what I'm seeing, they're paying about 60% of their signing fee to the notary. So you got to figure out how to get in there to get it. So tell me, what did y'all think of what she said? What did y'all ascertain? I guess that's the best word to say from what she said, because I just found it quite interesting that, I mean, this is the first time me and Marcy ever talked about this subject, and we didn't rehearse it. We just went straight off the cuff. We just sat there, boom. I asked questions. She shared. She's been listening to the stuff that I've been saying on here, and thank you very much, Frank. And see, the question is this: sort of like what Coach Prime says out there in Boulder, Colorado. Do you believe? Do you believe now? So let's look at it from this perspective. And again, keeping with the theme, working effectively with signing companies, taking the information, and I know it's more than two people that have watched the video in its entirety. I know the video's gotten over 500 views, so I'm sure there's more than just two people. Again, there might be people who looked at it and was like, "Oh, you ain't talking what I want to hear," and bounced out. Got it. But here's the thing. Now that you hear and understand what's going on, the question is, are you going to change your thought process? Are you going to change your approach? Because not every signing company is trying to mess you over. There are a lot of them out here that's working their butts off. I did a signing a couple of Sundays ago. The signing fee was $80. That's what they got. The signing company got paid 80. I got paid 60. That means they took 20. So how can I fuss about that when they're giving me the lion's share? Now, is $60 the ideal fee that most people want? Maybe not. But it's a fee that is percentage wise better than what you're probably getting at your W-2. And if you can get that on a consistent basis, that means if there's, let's just say, $200,000 or even $100,000 of notary fees that you can get that are out there every year, and you can get 60% of that, wouldn't you be happy if you could get 60% of $100,000? That's $60,000. I don't think any of you would say, "Nah, I don't want that." When you look at the numbers, realistically, 60% of every $100 you're able to get, how the heck can you say, "Nah, I don't want that. I don't want that. I just want this specific dollar amount"? This is where we as notaries are making a huge mistake in our approach to this business. This is where notaries who are out here promoting this business are veering y'all down the wrong path. And y'all going to have to make a decision as to which way you need to go. You're going to have to make a decision, because I'm telling you right now, you are not going to be able long-term force people to give you what you want just because you want it. And you might be able to get one company because they're desperate and they have no choice, and you're in a particular situation. But I don't think working with a signing company, you're going to get them to pay you this dollar amount, this so-called dollar amount that you feel you deserve every single signing company. And those people who are saying that, I need to see some receipts. If you can definitively show me and prove to me, I need to personally, I want to talk to the daggone signing company on. Because if you can get them to give you $150 when all you really can pay is 90, then I need to be your student. You need to be my mentor and show me how to do this. And I need to see receipts on it. I don't need to hear you say you did. I need to see some solid receipts. And very few people out there are willing to show that. So Melissa's kid just said, I watched the video and it was good talk. Signing companies are being held accountable for notaries that they hire. I'm grateful for them because they are giving me experience I need. That is correct. Giving you experience you need. Now, I'm surprised I'm not seeing comments. And the reason why I'm saying that because there's so many people, and maybe all other people who have understood, and that's why you're not really saying anything. But there's so many people who contact me, and it's like even early, a gentleman, and he asked a good question, which I get that question probably 3 or 4 times a year. Where do I get the bulk of my work? And when I hear people asking me that, I say, okay, you must be taking so and so's training because they're always talking about signing companies. You can't make no money with signing companies. The bulk of my work comes from signing companies, over 90%. So if I took signing companies out the equation, how much money is Griff making? Not a whole lot, not enough to take care of my family. This month alone, I got 67 signings. I got one more to do tomorrow. I did 5 today. Now, the 5 I did today was for a direct client, but that was a rare thing. I mean, normally it's like maybe 5 in 1 month, spread out, but not 5 in one day. I was happy to do it, make some good money, but I'm not getting that every single day. I'm not getting 5 signings a day from a new home builder because it takes time for them to get all of that stuff together. But I can get 5 signings a day through the signing services. So now, which one do you want? 5 signings a day, 5 signings in a day from one client that might be at the end of the month, or consistently getting 5 signings a day through various other means? Which one do you think will garner you the more money? That's what this is all about, is trying to figure out which method will get you more money. Now, later on in the video, she talks about notaries making mistakes, notaries making 15 errors. She had a pack of notaries that did some closings for her, which caused her to lose a client because all of them was making the same mistake, and they were different notaries. You see what I'm saying? So that's a problem. That's a problem. I was shocked by some of the notary horror stories she gave. People need to realize that signing companies get hurt too. That is correct. So there are a lot of people who are selfish in this business. They're very, very selfish. And also, yeah, thank you for hitting the like button, y'all. Please hit the like button down there, because as you hit the like button, it will send out notifications and let everybody know. So we got what? I gotta check. We got 20 some people in here, 10 likes. Come on, let's get the same likes as the same as the people in here. So when you come in, hit the like button. Let me throw my banner up there, encouraging people to hit the like button. Okay. Help me out here, because we got to get this message out. And if you watch the video and you did not hit the like button, please go back and hit the like button on the video. Share in a Facebook group. If share on your, I don't know how to do it on Instagram, but whatever, gram or TikTok or whatever. I'm serious, because people need to understand that this is for real, for real. And this is why we as notaries are having some struggles, because there are people out there making these mistakes, 15 mistakes, and not going to fix it. That's right. It was awful. And y'all talking about, well, the reason why we're getting lower fees is because you took a $60 order. No, we're getting lower fees because you jacked up the signing and you wouldn't go fix it. That's why we got it. That is correct. Please go back and look at the video, hit the like button on it. I'm telling you, yes, it's 2 hours. And I know some people are like, man, look, it's 2 hours of great conversation about what the heck is going on. Now, let's take it from this perspective. This is just one person from one signing company What do you think the other signing companies are dealing with? Now, do I make mistakes? Yes. There are times especially sometimes when on Florida properties, things get all convoluted. Sometimes and it's weird because I'll be in the process of lining through initially and changing the venue, and then something all of a sudden the customer, the signers will ask me something or what have you, and then I forget to go back and finish that, and then I'll scan it and I'll miss it, and then I got to go fix that. Well, that's okay, no problem. But there's some notaries who they're not trying to even fix it. They know they made a mistake and they're like, I ain't fixing. I'm not fixing it. Period. And that's where the problem comes in at. So you tell me, how can you expect to continue to get a high rate of pay when you're constantly giving a low rate of work quality? You don't expect to get that in your W-2. If you see a coworker constantly doing stuff wrong, constantly being late, constantly not meeting deadlines, but they get a 3% pay raise and you don't, you're going to have a problem with that. You are. And in our industry, if you constantly have notaries doing that throughout the industry, the title companies and the lenders are going to say, you know what, let's pull back. We can't be giving money. And as y'all listen, he said, I'm not in to say I have had 2 or 3 requests from signing services to get miscellaneous repaired and got $30 to $40 of repairs. We're 5 miles away. And I said, yes, the original notary refused. And see, this is why, oh my goodness, I wish I could have all of y'all, because I'm surprised nobody wanted to hop on live with me. But I'm serious. This is the problem. Some of these same notaries are the ones teaching y'all courses. Some of these same notaries are the ones holding events. Some of these same notaries are the ones selling y'all little trinkets. I don't care if anybody get mad at me, whatever. This is Think about it. Some of these notaries, not all of them, if they are failing as a notary, meaning I'm not going to fix what I messed up. Well, the first thing you got to ask, why can't they fix it? Maybe they didn't know what the heck they was doing in the first place, but then they're going to teach you how to be a notary. You see how all of this plays in? You got somebody who went out here, spent all this daggone money. What up, Master? Spent all this money and turned around, made a mistake, not knowing how to fix it. And never mind, I'm not doing it. And just quit. When somebody refuses to fix, when somebody refuses to fix that what they messed up, is probably because they didn't know how to do it right in the first place. If a person refuses to fix what they messed up, it's probably because they didn't know how to do it right in the first place. So to ask somebody to fix something that they didn't know how to do in the first place, it'll never get fixed because they'll just sit there looking at it like, I don't know what to do. And they're just going to send it back to you. And they don't have any resources. The people who they spent money with ain't helping them. The Facebook group that they're in, giving them all kind of erroneous information, or they don't want to let anybody know because that secretly they're jacking stuff up because publicly they got people paying them all kind of money to be a notary, to learn how to do the notary, to be a loan signing agent, a notary signing, all these here acronyms they weren't about. And yet the problem is the sucker who's sitting up here teaching these courses probably don't even know how to be a notary. That's where we're at. And I bet anything on it. And after listening to Marcy, how can you think that that's not the case? People who fail at certain things then turn around. I got a course. I have a course to teach you. See, what I wish we could do is, let me call the signing company. What signing company did you do? Hey, how you doing? Yeah, Fred Signing Service. I'm about to start taking training courses from Earl here. Yeah, Earl, Earl Smith. So Was he a good notary with you? Oh, oh, he did that. Oh, wow. Oh, so you probably say I shouldn't take. Okay, so I shouldn't take no courses from him if he was. So he didn't even stamp the documents, huh? And then refuse to go back and fix it. Gotcha. This is what's going on. And I'm trying. I've been trying to warn y'all for years, and I am so thankful that Marcy came on to just share with you her experience, which it confirmed what I was saying. But it gave y'all insight because I've asked other signing company owners to come on. They don't want to do it. They don't want to address it. They just want y'all to get right, do right, be better, and y'all don't know really what's going on. I'm saying here's the problems, but you're not hearing it from the people who are suffering from the problems. So therefore, it's like Griff just talking out the side of his neck. So here's what I would like for y'all to do. Look at the video and just listen to her. Put something to cover up my side. Don't even look at me. Matter of fact, every time I start talking, turn the volume down. When you see her start talking, turn it up and just listen to it that way. And you tell me, how are we not, as a notary group, in some serious trouble if we don't get this stuff straight? Now, how do you work effectively with a signing company? The number one way to work effectively with a signing company is to know how to do your job as a notary. If you don't understand how to do your job as a notary, you're going to struggle working with them because when the time comes and you make a mistake and you don't really know what the heck you're doing, you're never going to go back and fix it. So therefore, you're going to leave them struggling to get this fixed because you don't know how to do it. See, it's one thing when you make a mistake, like I forgot the stamp, I was rushing, whatever. You should be able to go back and put another stamp on there. But when you actually notarize the document completely incorrect, don't get them to sign right, don't do this right, don't do that right, and they say you got to go back and fix that. What's the first thing? Well, I'm busy, I got my work schedule. And see, this is the problem we're running into also. Is so many people coming in this business, y'all don't want to do it full time. You just want to do it somewhat part time. And then when you make a mistake because you don't know what the heck you're doing in the first place, you're afraid to take more time off or any time off from your regular job to go fix what you jacked up. That's where we're at. So my thing is, and that's why I've been telling people, if you really can't be committed to it, you need to stop. Don't do it. Or learn how to do the job correctly so you won't make a mistake and then end up causing some people some heartache, causing people to lose their rate lock, causing signing companies to lose contracts. See, y'all don't think about that. A lot of y'all don't even care about that. And I'm not asking you to think about it or even care about it, but just know that it exists. And even if you never, the notary next to you at that event might be the notary that caused a signing company to lose a contract, which is affecting your money. See, we got to hold each other accountable. And that's all I've been doing for the last 2.5 years, probably 3 years now. It's trying to hold notaries accountable to do things right. Asking signing companies and title companies to come out here and put the word out as to what the heck is going on, why it's going on, what they're experiencing, what they're dealing with. Because y'all don't want to, because a lot of y'all don't want to believe that it's that bad out there. You want to believe that little mess that some little trainers telling you because they making some money or claim they're making money, and you like, well, yeah, I want to be like them. A lot of them trainers ain't out here ain't doing this stuff, and some of them trainers weren't good notaries themselves. Trust me, I know. I got sources, but I'm just saying, a lot of the training out there, this is why I keep saying you're going to have to question these people, challenge them, because if you don't, you'll be taking training from somebody who don't know what the heck they're doing. And then you ask them about, hey, what about notarizing? oh, go to your state and go over here and go over there. They might even tell you, go talk to Griff. But I'm paying you. What am I paying you for? Oh, I'm just helping you get your business together. I'm just showing you how to make money with your business and other things you can do with making money with your business and be a process server and a wedding officiant and this and that and da da da. You know, you have people sometimes out here, you know, that do the mock signings, but is the mock signing really a mock signing? It's just a generic thing. But they never have to. You know, some of them are good out there. Some of the mock signing people out there are doing good, but a lot of them are just doing it just to get some money out of you. But they ain't really teach you anything. So tell me what y'all think. I want to hear what y'all think about this. If you listen to the video, what do you think? So my friend said these servers told me they did not pay the notary and got about half of the original, and you got half of what the original payout was. Boom. That's excellent. That's excellent. Then we've been getting a lot of rain lately. Some areas flooded, not in his. So I mean, Brendan said, "Life is good over here, Martin. You are, yeah, that, yeah, I think it was raining up there." So, any questions about this? I mean, I'm sure y'all got questions, thoughts, or what have you concerning this.
It's hard to call. Okay, yeah, I'll take that because by the time I do that, she answered the phone, the order's gone. Because Marcy is like, I'm willing to pay you 115. Why would
Says Frank, you got positive exposure and willingness to assist, which is a good look for you. Yes. Yeah. And see, hold on one second.
Cover all the extra interest the seller had to pay because
Right.
this notary didn't do a good job for me. Okay, so you got back at me for whatever reason. Like, you don't care that I'm the signing company and I had to pay. What you take that job for, whether it's you.
Now, one of the other things that she said, and I'm gonna play another clip. Agreed upon price. Tell me what your thoughts on that. I would like to know what your thoughts on that. Agreed upon price. The process is this: the signing company or title company, if they contact you directly, says, "Here's what we're paying." You either agree or disagree with it. If you agree with the pay, why are you trying to make them give you more when you've already agreed upon it? And what people have been taught is how to try to be sneaky and backdoor and like, okay, well, yeah, I'm gonna take it, but then I'm gonna ask for more money this way, that way, or the other. I'm trying to find something to show y'all an example. Man, where is it? Because there's an example of this that I just ran across. It was an example I just ran across not too long ago concerning notary fees. So it says, as a new notary, where would you suggest the best place to learn to do loan signing? Well, here's the thing. To do loan signings, you got to first know how to be a notary. You got to first know how to notarize documents correctly. It's not about you understanding the actual document and what to say, because a lot of the people out here make it seem like, oh, you need to know the actual the documents. You need to know them, and that's what you're there for. We're not there for the documents, for sharing or explaining or breaking down the documents. That is not what we're there for. We are there to make sure. Here it is. Here it is. Here it is. I found it. We're not there to try to help them to understand and comprehend the documents. We're there to notarize the signatures that's on the document. So doing the loan signing is simply about you understanding how to notarize the signatures. doing quote unquote general notary work is the same thing, because on any of these documents you're going to see a notarial certificate. So the best place to learn it, really, if you want to, my channel, I got tons of videos. I got a playlist called Notary Basics. You look at that, it'll teach you a lot of what you need to know for just getting set up. Now, there's some preparation for getting ready to do a loan closing, for us getting the documents together, prepping the documents, and all of that. I have videos on that. But when it comes time for you sitting down in front of the person, it's really about you understanding what to do with the area that has with a document that has a notarial certificate. And I always share with people, if you understand how to notarize properly, you'll do fine. Now, if you're trying to focus or want to do something other than that, or add a little oomph to the loan closing, then that's when you can get in trouble. That's where you wind up having some issues. And that's a problem. Okay. So you have to really define, when you say learn how to do loan signings, I would have to ask, what is it that you're thinking that you should be doing in the loan signing, or what you, because you might have been, and it might be based off of what you've heard. That's the thing. But when it comes to a loan signing, yeah, you see, you don't even have to prep the documents or any of that. It's print the documents, you take them, they sign it, you notarize, and then you leave. That is it. And I know people are talking about, well, what if they ask you for about the interest rate? What if they ask you about where's this at and where's that at? That is some of the most basic questions, and really they should already know that stuff. And it's a concern if they're coming into a closing and they don't know any of that, because they get sent the CD ahead of time, which tells them what their interest rate is. They've already been told what when their first mortgage payment is by the loan officer and all of them. So they actually know this information, but sometimes they ask you that just to, one, see if you know, which is not your job to know. And two, sometimes they ask you because, you know, they just want to see if something has changed. And I've had people tell me, well, I just wanted to see, I just wanted to check to see if anything changed. Well, here's the document. Please look at it. Well, I need you to tell me. And some people will try to get you to be their concierge of the document and try to make you tell them everything that they need to know, when instead of reading it for themselves. These are grown people. It's their job to read it, point blank, period. And if they're unwilling to read and to comprehend what they're signing, that's on them. And I know some people, especially signing them, no, that ain't the kind of service we want to offer. I got to do things legally in accordance with my state. Now, if you're in Louisiana, that's different. If you're in a state where you've been trained to do that by your state, I'm not talking about trained to do that by these internet trainers, but by your state. If your state hasn't trained you to conduct loan closings that way, I will be very cautious about doing that. Did my state teach me that? Or did somebody that I saw on the internet in another state teach me that? And even if they are in my state, are they approved by the state? Does the state approve, which is the same thing I just said, does the state approve what they're teaching? Because see, you can have somebody approved by the state to teach basic notary stuff, but is what they're teaching you beyond that approved by the state? That's the question you have to ask yourself. That's why all the platforms have feedback when you ask them for money, ask them for more money for your work. Now let me I have to copy this and paste. I'm gonna have to because I can't show it that way. But this is from a actual let me see if I can show it this way. No, I can't show it that way. I'm trying. All right, let me put it over here. Well, let me see if it'll fit down here. Let me see if that'll fit there. All right, so This is on one of the signing companies. This is what is on there. So please, let's read this together. It's broken up into two posts here. It says payment for notary services, and this is from a company called Secured Signings. Is determined at the sole discretion of Secured Signings LLC. Discussing fees or requesting an increase in fees with anyone but the staff at Secured Signings will result in immediate removal from our approved notary list. Should there be a need for a fee increase or fee consideration, please contact them. That's, I mean, help me to understand. What don't you understand about that? This is what they're saying. So this is the fee that was in. Oh, and let me share my screen. So we can see it again. Payment for the notary service is determined at the sole discretion of Secured Signings LLC. Discussing fees or requesting an increase in fees with anyone but the staff at Secured Signings will result in immediate removal from their approved notary list. Should you need there need to be a should there be a need for a fee increase or fee consideration? Contact. We got the copy to contact them. So, what don't you understand about this? But guess what? There will be tons of notaries who will still sit there and they'll be calling and talking to the signers. They'll be talking to the title company. They'll be talking to the lender. I've heard stories of notaries sending invoices to the lender, sending invoices to the signers, sending invoices to the title company, all kinds of stuff. Your agreement is between you and that signing company. That's who you need to work with. You agreed on that fee. They said, here's the fee that we pay. You either do it or you don't. So to work with them effectively, you got to work with them on what y'all supposedly had agreed on. Know how to be a notary, do the work correctly, you operate with the fee that you was given, and you keep it moving. And if you say, I don't like the fee they're offering, then don't even start working with them. Go somewhere else. Well, all the some companies in my area, none of them are paying $150. Now you have a decision to make as a grown human being. Are you going to make the money that you need to make off of those $90 fees they offer? Or are you going to keep waiting for the 150, or you going to quit and go somewhere else? Those are the only three options you got. Keep wishing and praying that you get the higher fee, quit, or work with the fees that you got and make the money that you can make. Which one is it going to be? And if you're a person who's like, well, I can't work 70 signings a month, I can't work 50 signings a month, then find something else to do. I mean, that's really where it's at, because you can't make people give you money that either they don't want to give you or they don't have to give you. So it says here, I understand that we aren't there to explain. I just want to make sure I'm doing everything correctly. Okay, well, the correctly thing to do is when you're there, at minimum, you tell them, say, here's the title of the document. This here is your promissory note. And again, you got to find out what your state requires you to do. Because if your state limits what you to do, whether you learn something from the NNA or somebody else out there, your state trumps everything. So the question then becomes, what is it that you're concerned that you might not do correctly? And I ask that question because it's a wide open question to say, I want to make sure I'm doing everything correctly. Okay, well, in order to get properly trained and learn how to do everything correctly, the question now is, what do you look at as everything? So when I work with people and talk to them, like my YouTube channel members, I'm asking them, what is it that you consider to be everything? What is it that you're concerned that you're going to make a mistake on? So now here's what most people tell me. I'm concerned, Griff, that I'm going to make a mistake of missing a signature, missing a date, missing somebody to initial, and not notarize the document properly, like missing a stamp or not signing it. Okay, so how do you go about making sure you don't miss a signature from the people? You pay attention to what you're doing. You're sitting there watching them. You're not on your phone, especially if you're brand new at this. You're not on your phone. You're not looking at Facebook. You're not trying to keep up with the shade room. You're there focused on them and you're watching them sign, and you get the document back. Oh, you didn't date. Please date. So now they date, and then that person date, and then the initial appropriately. Boom. So you didn't miss anything on that page. Now, repeat it again. Watch them sign, watch them date. Boom. Oh, there's a notarial certificate. What am I supposed to do with that? I do this, I do that, I stamp, and I keep it moving. Now, after you've done that over and over and over again, before you leave, you sit down and you take your time and focus and say, okay, this is 1 or 3 pages. Page 1, nothing to sign, no signature, anything on that. Page 2, there's nothing. Oh, page 3, there's a sig. Yep, they signed that. Boom. They signed that. They signed that. They signed that. Oh, and I notarized it. Yep, and I did this. I got the right date. I got this. That's how you make sure you don't make those mistakes. I wish there was a mentoring program. I do really well being able to shadow someone when I'm learning a new skill. I promise you, if you operate from a spirit of confidence instead of a spirit of concern and fear, you don't need to shadow anybody because it's already in you to do. And thank you very much for the super chat. I greatly appreciate that. Very, very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Really, really do appreciate that. Thank you very much, Keisha. Thank you very much, Keisha. I really appreciate the support. Now, one of the things that I do, and on my channel, if you look down there, it has a join button, Stephanie. For YouTube channel members, if you're a channel member, I think the fee is $3.99. I will work with you one-on-one as well as small groups because I do small group training with the YouTube channel members to help you understand all the stuff that you're not getting. Missing the signature stamp date, not scanning things correctly. Now, scanning things correctly, the biggest issue with scans is people scan them as a image instead of a PDF, which means you're not going in there and changing your settings. So depending on what scanner you have, you just have to change the settings from from a JPEG or PNG to PDF and set the resolution, or what they call the DPI, but the resolution from 600 down to 200 resolution, because they just want to see that it was done correctly. And that's it. And that depends on the scanner that you have. And you can Google that. It's like, okay, change settings on the HP whatever scanner or the Brother whatever scanner. And there's a video out there that'll show you how to do that. Missing the signature is real easy to not do. Any set of documents you get, you're going to have to at least sign one time. As you're going through, you just look and pay attention. They need to sign here. If you see something that says 3 pages, you're like 1 or 3. There's more than likely on the 3rd page is where they're going to have to sign. More than likely, if it's 1 or 10, it's going to be on the last page, unless it will be the deed, because sometimes there's a 1 or 2 pages after the signature page. But nonetheless, they're going to have to sign. We know the deed, we know the mortgage, we know affidavits are going to have to be signed. Tax forms are going to have to be signed. The question is, why are you missing it? Why am I missing it? And most of the times it's because we're not paying attention. And when we're not paying attention, when we're focused on the next thing, when we're frustrated or allowing ourselves to be frustrated, what we end up doing is trying to rush through. And when you allow yourself to operate in fear and concern, you will rush through these closings, and that's how you miss it. And there are some people who have anxiety about being around other people, about being around strangers that they do not know, and you get in there and it's like, oh, I just need to get out of here. And I've been around people who can make you feel very uncomfortable, just the way they come across. They can come across as a know-it-all. They can come across real snooty. They can come across real, distant, like they don't even want you in their house, all kinds of stuff. And you have to find it within yourself to say, you know what, I'm here to do this here assignment. I don't care what they think of me. I don't care how they act. I'm going to do what I got to do. And I'm going to be professional with it. I'm not going to let them disrespect me, but I'm going to be professional with it. And I'm going to get in here and knock this thing out and make it happen. And and once I started doing that, that made it so much easier for me to do. And now I understand when I make a mistake. Most of the times I make a mistake is if I got distracted. I got distracted and forgot to follow my normal process. So once you develop a process of verifying, checking the documents, you're good. And then the only time you would make a mistake is if somebody deterred you from that process. And it's not this that they're trying to do it on purpose. They could be like, hey, we got this, dot, dot. I don't understand this. There's a question about this, that, and the other. And now you're spending 20, 30 minutes trying to get people on the phone, this, that, and the other. Now you're running late. Now they want to rush and hurry up and get it done. And you're like, okay. And then you forget to do your normal checks. And that's what happens to me from time to time. So it's an easy fix, but the fix is already within you. It's no different than what you would do at your job to make sure that the shipping goes out right, the invoicing is done right. Same thing for your house. You make sure the bills are paid. What do? You make sure it got the right bill, the right dollar amount, sign it, this, that, and the other. If we got 5 different checking accounts or bank accounts, then I'm gonna make sure that I'm paying it from the right bank account, making sure that the money is in that bank account. All of the attention to detail things that you do in your everyday life, apply it to being a notary. All of the detailed things that you do in your life to make sure that you don't mess up stuff, apply it to the notary business. And if you do that consistently, the chances of you having a whole lot of failures is 0, in my opinion. That's what you got to do. And if you do that, you'll be good. My man Q here down in Tampa, Florida, rocking and rolling. So now we see you can't be running around trying to talk about the where is it? I lost it. No, you can't be talking about what you're going to do. You can't be talking about your fees and stuff to people who can't help you out. So I wanted to play this real quick for y'all. Another little part here that Marcy's talking about.
Even for you, we've exchanged emails, 11:30
Mhm.
midnight sometimes about work that I have, because I try to give it to my notaries that I can work with first, right? You've been with me this whole time. I know how you operate. I probably wouldn't throw over a loyal notary that I've had all this time for someone that I haven't. So that's the first piece of the puzzle for me. The second piece is that when we talk about knowing your worth, I always find it fascinating that I'll send an email out to my crew and I'll be like, hey, I've seen a lot of these errors lately, right? And inevitably one person will come back and say, oh, well, you get what you pay for. And it makes me a little nutty, because what you take that job for, whether it's $50 or $150, you still should be doing a good job. And
Right.
I know this is also not remembered very well, but it really isn't about me. Like, you're not getting back at me by not doing a good job and not fixing your mistakes, right?
Okay.
You're hurting the borrower. You're hurting the signer or the buyer. Like, we are public servants. We have a fiduciary responsibility, right? When we take on these loan signings or general notary work, not to harm these individuals. And I'm always appalled, like in the instance of that notary who wouldn't go back and help that buyer. They didn't close on their house for 10 days later. 10 days. And I had to pay all these extra expenses out of my pocket to cover all the extra interest the seller had to pay because this notary didn't do a good job for me. Okay, so you got back at me for whatever reason. Like, you don't care that I'm the signing company and I had to pay all this for you. What about that person who wanted to move into their house, who had a U-Haul ready, who had their kids move? Like, I don't understand any of that. So when we talk about pay me what I'm worth, your worth to me is how you see yourself and your business, right? We are all here to make money, but when we talk about that 6-figure mark, I'm going to tell you the notaries who are only chasing that 6 figures are not the same as the notaries who make 6 figures because they're doing the right thing. Okay. It's not the same for me. And so for me, that whole worth thing really boils down to, how do you see yourself in your business? How do you operate your business? How do you feel about that buyer or borrower or signer? Do you go out of your way to make sure that they're getting a good experience? Is it about you, right? Do you change the time because it's more convenient for you? I've had notaries be like, well, that's not a convenient time for me. Well, then why did you take the signing? Like, it's set in the order, right? It's 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock. So for me, I understand the idea behind it and why people say it. And again, how you operate your business, what your expenses are, what you want your profit margin to be are up to you. But not everybody needs to walk away with $100 for a signing as profit. Some people, I had a notary who did it part-time. He was older, in his 70s, and he did it on the side. I think minimum wage was like $15 in his state. And he was telling me, if I make $25 at the end of my signing, I'm happy because it's more than minimum wage and more than I would have had.
Yeah, that's how some people are.
And who am I to say anything about that? That's not right. I can't tell him how to run his business. So I think it's a kind of a complicated situation, but it really does boil down to the concern about what you're doing in your business versus the concern about what everybody else is doing in their business.
So, I mean, that's why I say this was a good, I mean, and again, we just did this off the cuff. We did not rehearse anything, did not plan to say anything. It was just like, boom. Says if you are going to do it correctly, you should. Right. If I know what you were trying to say, if you aren't going to do it correctly, don't do it at all. And see, this is the thing that y'all got to realize. There are people who are notaries who don't give, as they would say, a flying flip, care anything about this business. They don't care about no one but themselves. And you gotta find a way to identify those people. You gotta figure out who the heck these people are so you can stay away from them. Because I'm telling you, you're going to have to learn how to run your business yourself. This is why I say it's in you. I'm telling you, you got to be very, very mindful about, okay, I need a mentor. I need somebody to show me what to do. Really? Because if you've learned other things in your life, why can't you learn this? What makes this business so difficult that you can't learn it? You sat there and learned how to drive a car. You learned and figured out how to stay in the lanes and not run over anybody. You learned how to avoid bad neighborhoods. You learned how to avoid bad people. There's all these things you've learned how to do, and then you become a notary, and it's like, I don't know what to do. I can't figure this out. And it's not that daggone complicated. But you can make it complicated within yourself, and then you take that stress and anxiety into a notary assignment, and that's how you start messing up and you just fall apart because you're expecting things to be this one particular way that somebody who is not approved by your state told you it should be, and then it says sometimes it might be from your state, and then you mess around and got out there and like, oh my goodness, I don't know what to do, what I'm going to do. And then you said, you know what, forget it. I'm done. I'm done. I can't handle this. And I'm like, how the heck can you not handle this? And as Marcy said, your expenses. You're sitting up here spending all this money unjustifiably in this business. And as I've recently said, many of you are spending full-time money to do this business less than part-time. You're not trying to do this business full-time, but you're spending full-time money. And then you're like, okay, well, I'm working the 2 to 9 p.m. shift and I need to sleep during the day. Then when are you going to get assigned? How are you going to get any kind of work? If you're working from 2 in the afternoon till what, 9, 10 o'clock at night or whatever it would be for 8 hours, how you going to get any closing? Because you sleep during the day, doing stuff at the house, all of that, and then you go to work from 2 o'clock to whatever time. I don't see how you gonna do this business. I mean, let's be realistic. How are you going to do the business? Oh, I'm a school teacher, and I got grades to do, and I do this extra stuff. I'm also a track coach. When are you gonna do the business? I work from 7 to 3, but I got an hour and a half ride to there and an hour and a half ride back. I am really tired when I get home. When are you gonna do the business? Huh? When? And if you don't have it in you to push yourself, even when you're tired, if you don't have it in you to push yourself for something that you said you want, there's no amount of training that you will ever be able to take that's going to put you over the hump and get you to where you claim you want to be. There's no training. You can spend all the money you want in training. You can go to all the conferences, all the meetups. You can buy all the books, tapes, CDs, and DVDs and 8 tracks. You can buy all of that. But you're never going to move forward in this here life in any kind of business venture if you're unwilling to push yourself. If you currently don't have it in you to push yourself beyond what you're currently doing, if you don't have it in you to stay up a little extra late, if you don't have it in you to go ahead on and take the vacation, take some of your vacation days and take a signing. No, I got to save my vacation because I got to go do my annual Christmas thing. Okay, then the Christmas thing that you spending money on, that you taking all of your money and dumping into that is more important than you getting your business up and running. A lot of failure that we experience is because of what's already in us. It's a lot of times it's not of a lack of knowledge. It's an unwillingness to do more than what we're comfortable doing. If you're not willing to do more than what you're comfortable doing, then you can't blame anybody but yourself. And then there are people out here who are slick and say, hey, I can give you the secret sauce. And because you want to take shortcuts and you want to find some kind of way to make it happen for you, that's why I'm telling y'all right now. And let me say this here. And I don't care to anybody who think that I'm talking about them getting mad. I'm going to be straight with y'all. There's some very unstable people in this business. They are very unstable. They're not reliable. They can't be counted on long term. They can't stay focused 3, 4 months. If things drop for them, if all of a sudden the fanfare or the money that they think they should be making or could be making isn't coming in like they want, they switch up. And you cannot be connected to people who are constantly unstable. I don't care if they're a dude and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna support the fellas. I don't care if they're a woman, I'm gonna support the ladies. I don't care. If unstable is unstable. And to be a successful business owner, you need stability in your life. You cannot you can't have instability with your spouse and kids and then have instability with somebody who's supposed to be training or mentoring you. That is a pure recipe for all kinds of disaster and failure. And yes, I said it. And if you are one of those unstable people and you're watching this video, you need to get your act together and you need to leave people alone until you get your act together. Period. All of this floating around up and down and up. No, ain't nobody got time for that. This economy is hurting really bad, and we don't have time for you and your unstableness, you and your unsureness within yourself. And then you want to connect with people and all of that. No, you don't bring, no. Mm-mm. Now, this is to the party people. This is to y'all. You do not bring that into your life. You wouldn't have your son, you wouldn't have your daughter, you wouldn't have your spouse connecting to somebody like that. So why are you? And I don't care if somebody gets offended by me saying it, so what? The bottom line is this. If you aren't where you need to be, how can you help anybody else to be where they need to be? And that's just a basic principle of life. If you are not where you need to be in your business, let's just say business, we ain't gonna worry about family because as a business owner, you're not where you need to be as a business owner. You can't stay stable with that. You keep flip-flopping and turning around on that. How are you going to take me to the next level? You here today, gone tomorrow. You said come meet with you, and then out, and you ain't nowhere to be found. I'm not, and there are people that's out here that's like that. And same thing for the people who are high energy. You're constant, woo, 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 woo. If that's not you, you got to be careful being connected. I'm telling you, you got to watch who you connected with. You got to watch who you connected with. So going on here says, I work 7 p.m. to 5 a.m. I was too tired to do anything in the daytime. I left my 25-year career last week, and I am on go now. Cool. If you need any help, feel free to reach out. Feel free to reach out, and congratulations to you. Yeah, thanks. My business has been set up for a year, but that shift was a problem. Yep, I agree. I agree. That question, do you know why there are signing services that request you to get additional training outside the NNA? I see a lot on sign. Those are companies who are connected somehow or another with those training company people. And maybe they're trying to get a kickback through an affiliate link. Because see, my question then would be, and this is the question that you can ask them as a business owner, what is it that I'm supposed to learn? What is it that you need me to learn from these other people? That's the question. I mean, you're telling me take this training. So the NNA ain't good enough. So you need me to take training outside of the NNA. So I do the signing agent training, I do the notary essentials, and now you're saying, oh, you need to take this other training. Okay, so I take the other training. The question is, what am I supposed to learn from the other training that is supposed to make me more valuable to you? Because we know right now there are people, and please in the comment, if you can, and make sure y'all hit the like button also. If you can, can you please type in the somehow or another communicate. If you've taken 3 or more trainings and you're still not getting work from these signing companies, put a 0 in the chat to indicate that. Because there are some people that I know personally, they've taken training. I would go all the way down to 2, but we'll just say 2 or 3, and you've taken training. And even if it's one, you're taking training and you're still not getting selected when the notification comes out. Put a 0 in the chat. Indicate, I ain't getting no training. I'm not getting all the offers. Because they're saying you need to take this other training. Well, a lot of the companies that are on signing order are owned by notaries or former notaries. could be current notaries, all of that. And there's nothing wrong with that. But my question is, what is it that you're expecting me to do that outside of what the NNA has taught me that requires me to take additional training? As a business owner, I have a right to ask that because I'm not their employee. And according to independent contractor laws, you have to be careful about directing independent contractors as to the type of trainings they need to take in order to work with you, because now it's almost like you're treating us like an employee. So you got to be careful of that. So the question is, what is it that you want me to do that the NNA has taught me to do that's different? That's what I need to know. I need to know what is the difference. Okay. What is the difference? Because if I don't know, I mean, because now you're asking me to invest another couple of $100 to invest that kind of money, and then I get nothing in return from you because you're not going to guarantee me work. You see what I'm saying? You're not going to guarantee me work. So now I spent $300-400, and this might be the person who trained you. So now I just gave them $300 more. I just increased their net worth by $300. Okay, so now give me the work. Oh, look, Griff, we really don't have any work in your area. So you don't have any. So why couldn't you lead off with that? You don't have work in my area, but I just spent $300 on some training, and I still can't get work. That's a problem. That's a huge problem. And this is what's going on out there. Now, I don't see anybody. So I guess since nobody put a zero in there, that means everybody has taken a couple of trainings and they're getting work. So I would assume that everybody's getting work. My question will be then, is anybody getting work? Are you getting work? Whether you took training or not, are you getting work when you see the notifications? Are you getting selected? Are you getting selected at least 5 times a month? If you're getting selected 5 times a month, drop a 5. If you're getting selected 10 times a month, drop a 10. You see what I'm saying? That's the question, because you can take all this training you want, but do the signing companies that are saying, hey, do this training, do they have work in your area? If they don't have work in your area, that's like somebody pushing up on you, telling how handsome or beautiful you are, and saying how they after spending time with you, oh man, you will make the most wonderful spouse, and this, that, and the other, and man, it'll be just a joy having kids with you, this, that, and you getting all excited thinking that, oh, okay, man, they feeling me. You know what? I'm feeling them. And they're like, hey, you know what? I'm married already. Huh? So wait a minute, there's no chance to get with you? Huh? So why did you build me up and tell me all of this stuff? I just figured. And y'all know, ladies, you know, there are dudes that's out there that's like that are sitting here and pump you up. Now we know Caprentice be rolling, okay? Caprentice just be rolling, but good. I'm glad Caprentice getting at least 5 or more a month. But there are dudes that are sitting here and play that little game with you, and then you find out you no wonder you want to meet at night and around the corner and all that. You can't even take me out during the daytime because you worry about somebody gonna see me. So there's no possibility of kicking it with you for real. That's what's happening with sometimes with this here. And not every signing company is like that. And I get it, because some of the signing companies also, and just to really directly answer your question there, Dream, they're asking you to do these extra training sessions or this other training because they may have promised the title company that you would perform in a certain way. The signing company said, oh, we'll make sure the notary do these things here. We'll make sure the notary says this about the documents or this, that, and the other. And it's because that's how they operated when they was a notary. So when they was a notary, or in other words, a signing agent, this is how they operated. And as I've always told you, people will teach you out of their own experience, and they run their business based off of their personality. So if they were a notary who did all of this extra stuff, regardless of whether they state law says they can do it, they expect you to do it. Or they did it because their state law says they can do it, and now they're working with notaries nationwide, and not everyone can do it, and they don't care because they don't know whether or not that's illegal in your state. They still expect you to do it. There's signing companies that want notaries to talk about title insurance stuff here in the state of Virginia. We can't because we don't have a license. In Maryland, they do. And those signing companies out of Maryland will tell a notary here in Virginia, oh, if you're not going to talk about or present the title insurance stuff, let us know. We'll remove you off. Well, why are you going to remove me off from because I won't do something I'm not allowed to do? You need see this is where understanding the laws in the other states come in. But this is what's going on. So I want you to perform in a particular manner because this is just what I believe that you should be doing. I believe that notaries should be doing things this way. Is that legal in accordance with that state? But I don't know about all that. I just know what the way when I was a notary signing agent, this is the way I did it, and I made plenty of money doing it. So I just figured everybody should be doing that because it works. It worked there. Does it work everywhere? That's what see. This is the heart of it. And until we are willing to ask these questions as the independent business owner, things aren't going to change. And then we got to hold each other accountable. And I think the signing companies need to come in and say, okay, we understand that state laws are different. And this is how we would like things to be done. But we know you have to follow your state law. When possible, this is how we would like things done. If it's in violation of your state law, we understand. And the main thing is we can't be promising to do stuff that we don't know is legal. And there are a lot of notaries who do things that are not legal, and then those companies get used to that. And then when you come along and you're like, I can't do that. And they're like, why not? Well, because of this statute or this, that, and the other, that's not legal. But the other notaries did it. Again, it becomes a problem. So we got to figure a way to get away from doing things wrong, operating correctly, respecting the laws of a notary for that notary in their state. And I think we can see things be a whole lot better. I think the fees can, I guess, quote unquote, rebound or be at an acceptable level. But I think more importantly, as Marcy pointed out earlier, you and me, we got to make sure that we check our expenses. If you're if you're overspending to be in this business or to stay in this business, that's a problem. You got to reduce your expenditures. And if you don't, if you're constantly spending money on things that you do not need to have, or you're spending the money before it even hits the bank because you got your red bottoms, you got all of your Armani, you got your Louis Vuitton, and you already done made down payments on 5 cruises this year. That's not the signing company's concern to ensure that you have the vacation of a lifetime. That's not their concern. Their concern is making sure that the job gets done right and they pay you a fair fee for doing it. So if you're basing your fair fee thought off of the expenses that you just incurred by going out here and booking 5 cruises this year and dropping all the money you made last month as deposits for those cruises, and now you're looking for the signing company to keep feeding you business so you can keep paying your monthly deposit or your monthly payment on those cruises, that's not what they're here for. They have nothing to do with what you do with your money. You can do whatever you want, but you can't sit here and start demanding that these companies pay you additional money fund your lifestyle that you probably really can't afford. I mean, and that's just real life. You don't ask your job to give you extra money. Now, I mean, you try to get extra money, but what do? You work. You do things that are in line with your job, or it's like making sure you always come to work on time, completing your annual training, laughing at the boss's joke, whatever the case may be. But you do the things necessary in accordance with your job that can be measured, that can account for a good performance review from you. That's what we have to do. And what can count as a good measurement or performance measurement for us? Performance review, doing our job correctly as a notary. That's what I believe. Now, I don't know about y'all, but be willing to fix your mistakes, know what you're doing as a notary, don't have an attitude, be committed to excellence. That's how you work effectively with these signing companies. If you're willing to do that, I don't see how you can't work with them and make money. But if you're not willing to do that, then all bets are off. Because the question is, what are you willing to do as a business owner to cultivate the correct relationship with that person who's willing to pay you? They're willing to pay you. They're saying, I will pay you this money, but you're saying, no, that's not good enough. Or if you take it, you don't do a good job with it. I don't know what else to say. Look at the video again many times as you need to and really listen to what she is saying and ask yourself, is that me? Am I that type of notary? Because if I am, how do I get that fixed? And if I'm not, what are the steps to keep myself away from being that type of notary? That's where we're at right now. So which one are you? You're like that, causing problems, and you need to figure out how not to be, or you're doing things right. You need to make sure that you're stable and solid so you're not falling into that. You're one of the two, troublemaker or no troublemaker. And from there, that's how growth comes. Any questions, concerns, thoughts concerning this business, anything that we've discussed, anything that you've listened to on the or the video,
Can't have you. You costing me money.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes. And I'm going to say too, I'm going to backtrack a minute. If you're out there posting because someone didn't pay you,
okay. And let me play this real quick for y'all. Let me play this real quick. This will be the last clip.
Go fix it. Mm-hmm. You better go fix it. Because the moment you say, I ain't fixing it, now you are, maybe I'm wrong in this thought, but to me, at that point, you just told them, give me more money. They fought for you to get more money. You screwed it up. And now to me, you're putting that scheduler's job at risk because they're like, okay, Marcia, like, okay, you're just, can't have you. You're costing me money.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes. And I'm going to say too, I'm going to backtrack a minute. If you're out there posting because someone didn't pay you, I understand that. I am 100% in agreement that for companies who don't pay their notaries, legitimately don't pay their notaries, that information should be shared. So I'm not saying that. I'll make sure I put that out there, right? That's important. But I also would say that you should have documentation behind it, because I can't tell you how many times a notary reaches out to me and be like, you didn't pay me, and then screams at me, and I send them a copy of the cash check, and they've already hurt our relationship. So be aware of that. But back to this piece, here's the thing about asking for more money. There are circumstances that warrant it. If I sent you a package, you printed that entire package, and I send you a revised package, you should get more money. You print it twice. If the closing location is XYZ, and now we find out it's 30 or 40 minutes further from you, I understand that. That's something that I can
Right.
accommodate. And I certainly can work with the lender to figure it out. And if I can't, then I probably would have to reassign it. It really depends on the set of circumstances, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you take a signing for me for more money and it's an hour away, I always tell the notary, I don't mind paying that if you're going an hour away, but you're going to have to go back an hour if you make a mistake, right?
Right.
And there become some of the things that you have to figure out in your business. Am I willing to drive an hour and a half away? And then if there's an error or problem that I made, go back and fix it, right? I'm not
Right.
expecting you to do that for me, but for them. And like I said, I don't work with a lot of notaries who nickel and dime me. I really honestly don't. I say I pay fairly, and the way I figure that is I pay what I would take a job for. And that's how I operate my business, right? If I would do it for that amount of money, I would take it. So I always laugh when notaries who work for me complain about the fee, and then they open their own signing companies, and then I see what they pay their notaries, and I'm like, this is silliness. That's not what it's right
now. See that right there.
There's that. I know there's a listen, like I said, not everyone's a great signing company. Not everyone operates with integrity or honesty. So I understand all of that. I guess the point I'm making is that, again, like we talked about before, I think if it's a one-off sometimes, even for me with my customers, my fee is my fee. I don't charge extra for faxing or dropping something off or going. I really don't. Like, I try to do the best for my customers, and that's why they come back to me all the time. And I'm at the top of their list in my area. So for me, that quantity makes a big difference, right? If by spending an extra half an hour at one signing brings me 10 more orders behind it, well, why wouldn't I do that? But not every notary thinks that. So if you've ever done a commercial loan for me, you know you have. Like, I pay somewhere between, $275 to $300 for commercial loans if it's in person. They aren't really big packages anymore. They're less than 100 pages normally. I ask you to carve out 2 hours of your time. They never take 2 hours. They always take about an hour. And I have a notary who was doing all of mine in her area, and she was doing them all in less than an hour, which $275 or $300 for 100 pages is, I think, for me, decent money. But I mean, everybody's different, right? Depends on how you feel about it. And this last closing last week, there were a whole bunch of issues, not because of her, not because we had a lender, and that signing took 2.5 hours. And she came back and said, can you pay me more? And I said, well, there's no more to pay you, right? Like, I took 25%, and I get that it took a long time, and I appreciate that you stayed there for that, but you did the previous 10 for just an hour, right? You made out really well with them.
You've already made out. Yeah.
I've never used that 2 hours, right? We've never had to. So today I had to use a little extra, and I get it. It's a pain and it didn't go well, but I certainly appreciate your being there. But unfortunately, like, I just don't have the money to give you. And she said to me, well, just take me off your list. I don't work with you anymore. And that's fine. You have that prerogative. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but what I'm saying is that it doesn't make sense to me from a business owner point of view, but that you get all of my work in one area. Typically it's fairly decent pay, and one goes off the rails a little bit and you're like, hey, I'm done with you. And that's fine if that's how you run your business, but that's why signing companies and title companies don't always feel great about working with notaries, that kind of thing. Like, we try to do the best that we can, and there are times where it's not anyone's fault. It's the borrower, or something happened, or an underwriting issue. Like, I don't know. There are so many things that happen in the mortgage lending real estate world that we don't always have control over. It's that flexibility piece that's super important. It's that being accommodating, right?
You got somebody making $275 to $300, and because they had one signing that was a little off, take me off your list because you won't pay me more. That's something that's in their heart. That person might be watching, might like me, whatever. But what's more important? To consistently get a certain dollar amount. See, think about it. Everybody keeps talking about, oh, I want to make this money. Now you're making the money, and then the first thing you do, you find some reason to say, you know what, I don't want it no more. You're making the money, but then you find a reason to say, I don't want it anymore. because you won't give me more. Yes, I know you said it was going to take 2 hours, be block 2 hours. And I know I'm the main person and you give me all of this work, but you need to give me more because I was out there for 30 minutes more than that 2 hour window of time. How did you do this? My question is this. Would that person expect their spouse to walk away from a job that's paying them the money that they need to have for their family? Now, of course, the person could come back and say, well, that money that I was making from them wasn't really doing much for me. Oh, it wasn't. Oh. Then if it wasn't doing much for you, then why didn't you ask for more prior to the 2 hour, 2.5 hours? You wasn't complaining before, but all of a sudden it's not good enough. All of a sudden it don't do nothing for you. All of a sudden it's beneath you. This is what we got going on out here, people. And I don't know what else it's going to take for y'all to realize this. And I don't know what's going to motivate you to make an adjustment in how you approach this business so you can take advantage of the opportunity to go out here and make money. But if many of you are out here listening to me live, and if you look at the replay, if that's where your heart and mind is at, you're going to get exposed sooner or later. And all I can say is, for those who aren't like that, you're just going to have to be ready to slide in when the opportunity comes and have your stuff together so you can go out here and do that. So that's it, party people. I don't know what else to say. The number one way to work effectively with these signing companies is don't be like the people that Marcy talked about. If you can change that, then you're going to be all right. If you're going to keep acting like that, eventually you're going to get exposed. So that's it, party people. I'm done. I got one more closing tomorrow at 6 p.m. Get up. I'm not even going to think about notary stuff right now because I'm tired and I had 5 closings a day. And so I appreciate y'all. Please go back, look at the video, and hit the like button on it. Please comment if you can, and all that good stuff. And if you like the video, you think it was of value to you, hit the super thanks and give a donation, a $2 donation or $1 donation. And even if you don't, still just hit the like button. Okay, that way we can get this video pushed out there. Man. And I should have probably said this earlier, but if there's a signing company looking and y'all want to come on and talk and share some stuff that you think could be helpful, you're more than welcome. Just give me a call. If you're a lender, if you're a title company, and you have some information, you have something that you want to share with notaries to help them be better, feel free. Come on. I'll be more than happy to talk with you. We'll pre-record it and then let the notaries hear what you got to say. If you got some good, solid advice that can help them improve their relationships with you. All right. Y'all have a good one. Thank y'all. Be safe this weekend. Talk to you later. Peace.